Alright, I'm on hole number 6 of the Monster Marsh tournament. In the opening round of the rookie division, hole number 6. Hole number 6 is hole number 5. Alright. I don't like this hole in this account, but I think I can like this hole a little bit better because I now have a Guardian. So Guardian can change your game. It opens up some shots. It's definitely a club that you want to have. You want a 3-side spin ball. And I need to check my Guardian and make sure I know what the numbers are, because I winged it here a second ago. So it's 50% accurate. So on hole number 5, I got a Guardian. I'm making notes for it. Guardian Katana, and it's 2.0 per ring. It's got 1.9 ball guide. Man, if it had this gets the 2.1, or it picks up that next ball guide and gets so that you can see where the second bounce is. If you're doing that backspin, this much backspin, you can put that second bounce very close to the hole, and you're going to end up very close to the hole. So when I get to the point where I'm playing Tour 5 or during the golden shot, if I can get more club cards for that and get it to the next level, it may get some ball guide. Alright, off we go. I'm trying to do this with the same approach that I do with my upper level account, where I've got a sniper and I've got a Guardian that's got great ball guide. And I'm trying to do the shot from the little island right here in between the sand traps. So if you've got upper developed clubs, this shot right here, you can see where it's bouncing on the other side, and you can get an idea of trajectory and speed. But you can't do that here. So unless you practice this shot and you know that, like, hey, from that spot with my big dog doing that, even though it doesn't look like it, it's going to go right towards the cup. And where our opponent is in a bad situation. It's not going to roll off the green. You'd think with all that hill going down that it would roll off the green, but it's hard to actually, if you start going past the cup, it's hard to get it to, it wants to keep rolling. They actually might have a shot from there. Okay, I want to give myself plenty of room. Maximum backspin. And whatever I can get on. I want to be as close to being in the center of that thing as possible. 3.8. It's 2.0 per ring, so we're about a 2-ring pool. I'm going to put just a little teeny bit of curl. And hit it great to the left. And because of where I set it up there, if you have just a level 1 Guardian, you have a backspin club, you can set those shots up. There's some shots that you can set up. It's not going to be the club that it will be down the road once you start getting it upgraded, but just having access to that backspin on a hole like that can change your shot setup. So instead of going to the other side, I can go there. The risk over there is that you can't hit it outside more than 1 ring great to the left or the right, or you'll end up in the sand. You have to hit it perfect or 1 ring great left to the right. And so you're not giving yourself a lot of room there. That's why I'm like dead center in the middle. It's the bare minimum of, like, I always like to be a couple rings off of every surface so that I can hit it great to the left or the right. And that spot fits the bill. So if you hit 2 rings great to the left or the right with low developed clubs, you're in trouble. But with upper developed clubs, they're more accurate, so you give yourself more room for maneuver. All right. I'm trying to learn how to play this bag. I haven't really played, it doesn't take very long to get your clubs to a very, this account hasn't played much, and you can see where the club levels are. Now, the 864 games, most of those have been in tournaments. So when you look at my 57% winning percentage, I probably forfeited probably about 100 games in here. So it knocks your percentage down. But opening up chests, I can tell you exactly how many chests I've opened. I've opened 500 chests. So this is what I got with 500 chests. We're at a milestone number here. So if you don't want to look at the chest, you can pop off to the next video. But why wouldn't you want to look at the chest? And the clubs. So drivers, I've got those drivers to that level. I got my extra mile to level 6 with 500 chests open, T4 and below. So it doesn't take very many openings of chests to get your club to a pretty decent level. If I was actually trying to go up the scale and popped up, but I think in these lower divisions down here, I have a good shot of getting extra mile clubs. But it would really be nice to get my extra mile to like level 7, so I start to pick up some of that top spin, and I think it gets a little more curl. I like those. My big dog's at level 6. I have a Guardian at level 1. My Viper for my Acro Club is already at level 8. And I'm over halfway to level 9. So it doesn't take very long, and doesn't take very many chests open to get some of these lower level clubs to a usable level. That's pretty good ball guide for a low level club, 3.2. Big dog. Lots of distance. There's not going to be a lot of holes that you're going to want to use the Guardian on at this level, but there is one hole in here where if you're doing a pure backspin, that's it. You're doing pure backspin. But if you wouldn't want to carry this in your bag all the time, because you can't see where it's going at all, and you need to be able to see some trajectory. That's why the big dog's going to be pretty much your go-to club when you're lower level. It's like your extra mile. So if you use an extra mile on a big dog on a regular basis, the deal is that you're compensating. And so when you get down into your long iron and your short iron, now you're putting them into the right distance for these clubs, like a backbone. Some people bring a Goliath, so that means here's why I've never played a Goliath, because I brought a big driver, I brought a big wood, and you're still needing a big long iron. You're not ever going to take your long iron shot to put yourself into short iron range so that you can take a short iron shot. You're going to get on the green. So if I'm at this point and I haven't put myself in the right position with the two biggest clubs that I have in the bag, I don't need to bring another big club. So I've never used the Goliath. I used a Saturn and a backbone. So I interchange between these two. When I got the Saturn and I get some ball guide and some of that backspin, that backspin to a decent number, and there was a number on the scale, so I upgraded. I saved cards for it until I got to that level. It opened up, and then I was able to start using these in combination. But it doesn't take very long to build them up. And so this is my combo clubs. I use 2 common cards. I hardly ever use anything but a common card for long iron, and the common cards get maxed out super quick. And I know that the Goliath is a great club. I see a lot of people use it, especially when it gets upper developed. It's got lots of curl. It's got great ball guide. It's got lots of power. But sometimes I find it has too much power, and when I'm getting down into this point, instead of it gets mid accuracy. So it's not that much different than a Saturn, but you've got a backbone if you need that really accurate shot going in. Short iron. I have a Kingfisher. I couldn't care less about any of the rest of those clubs. However, a Thorn does help on some because it has more backspin, but a Kingfisher has quite a bit, so it works in most situations. And I don't shoot my short iron for topspin. Okay. So if I'm trying to get my shot into short iron range, I'm in short iron range. I don't have to engage it with power or topspin. I have to engage it with a little bit of backspin. And if I am outside of my club, I'm compensating for that with. So if I'm at the red line, I can come forward and use my Saturn because it has lots of backspin. And if I need to, I can do overpower. I can short shoot it to try and get it up to the hole. So those clubs work well together, and they both are awesome clubs. So most of the time I play with the Saturn, and then my Kingfisher is my short iron, and I'm looking, the whole number here is, it starts with accuracy 88, and heck yeah, this has got 3.4 ball guide, and it has a little teeny bit of backspin. It only needs a little bit. When it first starts, I think it only has just a little, but you only need like one or two. And I never try and put myself into spots where I have to engage topspin with a short iron, unless I'm recovering. Wedge, Firefly. The Firefly's got 81 topspin and 4.1 ball guide. Okay, I don't even. Were there other numbers on that page? It's not very accurate. It's 2.2 per ring, so it's not very accurate. But you're not trying to use your Firefly at max distance. Some shots on some holes, you may pull your Firefly out and you have to do max distance on it, so you need to know that number. But in most cases, you're hitting short off of you're on the fringe or you're right off of the fringe. And so what you're looking for is that topspin so you can run the ball to the hole. And that's why it's ring set, is if at this accuracy you can hit it great to the left or the right of the cup and still probably get in. And you do that club until I get a rapier. That'll be the club that'll be in my bag, because when you get a rapier, it starts off, and I think it takes the rapier until it gets like level 3 before it gets more topspin than the Firefly. And the day that the rapier gets more topspin than the Firefly, I'm switching over to the rapier. So if you play a dart, or if you play those other clubs and that's your club of choice, it doesn't take very long to get that common card to level 7. And think about epics. There's not very many epics that are in the top 3, and the ones that are in there are all clubs that you're going to use for a long time. Like a big topper, you'll use that throughout your no matter how far you go. You're going to use that Kingfisher until you get a Hornet and a Claw and start developing some of those clubs. But it's all about accuracy. Firefly until you get a rapier. The only one you're not using is that Junglist and that Castaway. There are some good clubs down there. Rough iron. The Machete's an awesome club at this level. At this level, there isn't any of them that can do, like, the distance thing is definitely key. So which one here? Until something gets some significant distance over the Machete's actually a really good club. It has enough ball guide to lift you up so that if you're using this backspin, you can see where the second bounce is, and you know that if you put on 84 backspin and your second bounce is either right on the cup, or right in that area, that you're going to be real close every time. And it's a great club. Unfortunately, it never gets. At some point, you'll have to change because of distance. But I don't think I'll change my Machete out unless it's a circumstance until I get a Nirvana. And when I get a Nirvana, I'll start using the Nirvana. Because you don't need the backspin, but if you have it, then you're going to use it more often. Because I don't need it a lot of times with the Nirvana, but because I brought a Machete, I can go ahead and get closer to the hole and I can use backspin. I'm going to play with the Malibu until I get a Spitfire. So I've got accuracy here and I've got ball guide. And here's the thing about these clubs in the bottom. That topspin deal where you're running it up there with your Firefly and you're running it up to the hole. You can do the same thing with a Spitfire if you're close. So if the sand's like just right off the green, you can run it with a Spitfire, and that means that you can take and pull your rings further back towards you. And you can make the ring set smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and you can extend this line out so you have a much better shot of hitting. Like if you caught a great to the left or the right, you might still make it just because you're so close. You can do that same topspin shot with a Spitfire. And another cool thing is that when you get a Nirvana, you can start. It has, especially and it doesn't take very long to get it up there, where you can run the Nirvana up there as well. Machete, we can do a little teeny bit of that, but it's a backspin deal. It doesn't want to do the run forward. And then this beginning putter, that's the way I struggle with making sure that we keep the beginning putter. Thanks for watching.